Yo, it's Friday night, 9 p.m. sharp. You know what time it is.
Narcocop and Timothy hitting you with that Lambo energy.
He's Mike by name, but the streets call Narcocop. Used to bust dealers, now he's busting long shots. Retired badge, now he's bad with the bets. Octagon fiend, cashing slips, no regrets. Friday night fight, Seki poured on ice. Lambo Plays Podcast, breaking down the price. Got parlays, KO, subs in round 3. Split decision magic, cash it like a G. Lambo Plays, it's a wild parade. Long shots flying, getting that paid. Tim with impressions, Narco's got the locks. Whisper bet of the week, gonna shock your socks. Lambo Plays, the odds go cray. Spin that wheel, it's a betting ballet. KO's to be round 2 or 3. Hit that split, cashing big LFG. Tim Troiano, lotion in hand. Tennis coach by day, fight fan of the land. Watching WMMA, yeah, you know the drill. Playing with himself, just joking, but still. Impressions fly, Katona in the house. Roses Jr. squeaking, Tim's loud like a mouse. Cornholio vibes, he's stealing the show. Narcos like bruh, but they still go toe to toe. Round 2 chaos, round 3 gold. Split decisions, bets unfold. Side case sipping, parlays lit. Lambo energy, never quit. Lambo Plays, it's a wild parade. Long shots flying, getting that paid. Tim with impressions, Narco's got the locks. Whisper bet of the week, gonna shock your socks. Lambo Plays, the odds go cray. Spin that wheel, it's a betting ballet. KOSOB round 2 or 3. Hit that split, cashing big LFG. Narcocop, Timmy T, Friday nights, yes. Lambo Plays Podcast, where long shots live large and splits hit harder. We out. We out. We out.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Lambo Plays Podcast. This is going to be episode 177 for UFC 329, one of the biggest cards out there. It is the return of the Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway in the main event. Stacked card, honestly. Some really, really good matchups, some really, really good fights. Lots of violence, violent fights on this card, in my opinion. And I actually like a lot of Lambo plays on this card. It's, it's good to be back. I haven't really been in the groove. I've been back and forth in Vegas. I played the main event, made day 3 and got my ass kicked in day 3. Just been in Vegas kind of grinding poker and didn't go really well, but it is what it is. That's the variance of poker. Very similar, I guess, in a way to gambling. But we got 125 people in here already. Appreciate all of you. Tim is in the Katona-verse. There's no Katona this week, but I guess there's maybe somebody that's going to be in the Katona-verse. I don't know who. But Tim, UFC 329, great card here. Conor McGregor is finally back. He is fighting Max Holloway. What's your overall take on the card? How do you feel about this card from a Lambo perspective? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Conor back. Obviously, he gets a different amount of exposure for a lot of the simpletons that are going to be back watching him. I'm into it, man. I think this is going to be a great card. I think there's a bunch of really good fights. I think there's some violence to be had, and I'm pumped.
Yeah, I really like from a Lambo perspective, I like this card. I think there's some very good spots. Obviously, there is some fights that are just not even worthy of a damn play, to be honest. Like there's just some fights that are like that, but I have a lot of plays on this card, like just picks as far as my my official plays. I have a lot of money lines on this card. I really like some spots on this card. So we'll see how it goes. You know, I'm either going to be up big or probably down big, maybe in the middle, but you know, I'm hoping I'm going to be up big on this card. Let me go over to my chat, Tim. Shout out my chat. Carlos, we are back. Yes, indeed, we are back. Dixon says, Dear Narco and Tim, it's been so long since we were last here. It's good to be back. Tomorrow night, we shake the bookies upside down until all their money falls out of their pocket. Yeah, I mean, that's the plan. Hopefully, we shake them upside down. Fucking, even their pants falls off, you know, at that point. Not just their money. Maybe they got a wallet or something in the back, and we can take that as well. Elijah Juan, let's effing go. Azure, yes, we're also back. Thank you, Narco and Tim. Let's get it. Thank you, Azure. Mushroom, what's up, Narco and Tim? Lambo's incoming. Jackie Blaine, always a blessing with Narco and Tim on the big screen. Whispers of Lambos and long shots galore. Let's break the books and show them the door. Respect, gents, always. I am going to do something new with Lambo Parlay at the end. So I have one, but we're going to do something different. Legends Only MMA. What's up, my man? DA07. It was said in the Discord, and I feel it should be said here. Narco, thank you for every show, every breakdown, every tape study, and everything you do behind the scenes to run the best service you can. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much for the kind words. Solomon says, Narco, thank you, my man. Appreciate you. MMA Tard, welcome back, Big Narco, and Triceratops Tim. You got a new nickname. Fuck it. Triceratops Tim. Change it now. No more Katonaverse. Blunt Force, good luck, gents. Hope you bag the cash out at the WSOP. If not, Lambo will hit nicely this weekend. That's the plan. Danny Link, here we go. What's up, my man? Craig Crowley, also in the house. Daz777, what's up, my man? Do we get a WhatsApp recap? Not that I understand it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do good. I made day 3 of the big one, the 10K buy-in. I had it up to about 30, almost 40 big blinds if you're in tune with poker, and I got it in with pocket queens against the ace king suited, and I could not hold where a king hit the flop and I was toast. Yeah, I would have had a nice stack at that point. I would have had like, I don't know, roughly 90 big blinds, which is a lot in day 3. So yeah, I couldn't hold, and that's the story of my life here while I was in Vegas. Isaac Bulgarian is here, Tim. Casual money or real money on Conor, he's asking. What do you think? Casual money, Isaac. So I don't know which side you're on. If you do know the script of this fight, can you please DM Tim? He wants to know the script of what this fight is. William Robbins, what's up, my man? Spafferon says we want tacos, we want cheesecake. Rashid, we deserve a 50K card. I think this is the card. All the best, everyone. Bloom Dog in the house. What's up, my man? AB says Tim is on some peptides. I can tell he's looking good. Tim, are you on peptides?
No, actually, no.
Reveal
all
it.
Natural. All natural.
All natural, he says. All natural. Danny Link says time to smash the like. I appreciate you. Please smash the like. Nanderall says we are entering the Wang warehouse. Okay. Joseph Curry, let's get that money. MMA hedge funds, let's F and go, fellas. Going head to head with the ceremonials. Liam picks fights. What's up, my man? Thank you for joining, Liam, as always. Cole Stein, Lambo, he says, let's F and go. Bunk Hoots, let's go. Great fights tomorrow. Raw Torque, what's up? Mother Efflers, England Parlay, Loner Kavanaugh decision, Luke Riley KO, Paddy Pimblett submission, plus England to beat Norway in the World Cup. That is definitely an England parlay. ADM says, can't wait to see Conor McGregor enter the octagon. It should be fire. And he is watching over there on Rumble, by the way. So if you're not watching on YouTube, go over to Rumble, support my Rumble channel, hit the like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I appreciate you all. AJ Stokesdale, $10 dono. Let's hit it big this weekend. I appreciate you for the donation. Thank you very, very much. What else do we have? Big Boogie Down is also in the house. What's up, Boogie Down? All right, Tim. 248 live viewers in here. It's popping early. It's popping often. We're going to start out here. First fight of the night, and it is in the flyweight division. It is the 18-10-1 Cody Durden versus the 16-5 Alessandro Costa. And the current odds are exactly what they are on the screen. Minus 220 Alessandro Costa with the comeback on Cody Durden at plus 185. So, Tim, I will kick this one off to you. Give us your Lambo play here. First fight of the night.
Good fight. I think this fight could go a couple different ways. I think Cody has definitely some decision equity here if he can get some top time or even just stay alive in the striking and grappling sequences. I think he's got more volume in general. Costa's not really a huge minute winner. So I think the minute winning can be Cody here, but I ended up getting to the Costa by submission prop at plus 410. Just think that Cody tends to stick his neck in bad spots when he's grappling as well as when he gets hurt. Club and sub is super live here as well. Just think that Costa is pretty dangerous with different types of chokes, good grappler, physical, kind of a fire hydrant. So yeah, I like the sub here early for Costa. I'm not going to really get cute with, rounds or anything like that. I just think sub is best line at plus 410.
Yeah, by the way, Durden is not 6'1". God, my template guy. I'm going to kill this guy. How did he get Durden at 6'1"? That is
grew
hilarious.
a lot. He grew a lot since his last fight.
He grew a lot of inches. I don't know. Maybe my template guy went over to ATT over there and measured Durden. Maybe he grew. But yeah, 6'1". I think it's a little too much. At age 35 to be growing, 6 inches. It's way too much. It's too funny. Yeah, I mean, Costa's taking this fight on a little bit of a short notice, right? I think, I don't know, 10 days, maybe 7-8 days. It is short notice for Alessandro Costa here. But when you look at his Instagram, I mean, the guy is in shape. He's training. I don't have an issue with his cardio, to be honest. His cardio has always looked good. He's been 5 rounds multiple times on the regional scene. So not really concerned with the cardio. I actually think he has the better cardio of the two. I think Cody's the one that kind of slows down later and looks a bit gassed. He does push through, which is good from Cody. But, I mean, he's 35 years old. He's getting up there in age. He had a big win as a huge underdog against Filio. He came in there. This is what I don't understand. He came in as a plus 475 underdog against Filio. And, he won the fight. He looked good. My thing is, Alessandro Costa is much more dangerous with his hands than Filio, and he can grapple himself. It's like, I feel like this line's, if Durden doesn't win the Filio fight, what does this line look like?
Plus
Honestly,
300?
Probably more. I would say even more. It probably would look like a Filio line, honestly.
Yeah, close,
because
probably.
Costa hits very hard on the feet. He can grapple his ass off. He's a good grappler. You could take him down, but Durden's not going to hold this guy down. He's going to get up, or he's going to threaten submissions against Durden, like you said. I think Durden, historically throughout his career, if you just look at Durden in general, he's looked really good early in fights. I mean, almost every fight. Ochoa fight, he looked decent in round 1. Nascimento fight, he looked very good round 1. I even think Tumen Dembaral fight, I think he won round 1. He's looked good always early on, and then he blows his wad. Because he looks good and because he uses so much energy in round 1 and throws these big shots, big looping shots, and he throws everything behind them. I guess there is potential he could hurt Costa early, but Costa could hurt him just as bad. Costa hits very, very hard for flyweight. And, Durden is tough. I don't think he's going to be easy to get out of there, but I think Costa can work the body. I think the big thing here to me is Costa can annihilate Durden's legs, man, with calf kicks. He has some of the nastiest calf kicks, and I think he can land them on Durden and leave Durden with one wheel, to be honest. So I like Costa here in the later rounds. I think round 2 at plus 600 on Bookmaker, if you have it, or Bet Chris, is the best line out there. I think that's not a bad line. I think I honestly think that's when it happens. But also round 3, if you have Rivers, is plus 850, because when you look at Durden historically, I mean, round 2 finished by Nascimento, round 2 finished by Ochoa, round 2 finished by Silva, round 2 finished by Ulanbekov. So it's like consistently been round 2 of late, where he's getting finished. And when you look on the other side, Alessandro Costa, and when he gets his finishes, it's mostly later too. Outside the Schnell one, we're looking at Stuart Nickel round 2, Borjas round 2, Flick round 2. That's got some other ones on the regional, but he's finishing mostly like in round 2. So it kind of matches up, to be honest, like where, Durden maybe does well early, but I think he blows his wad, and then Costa kind of takes over in the later rounds. So, I like Costa 2-3 here. What do we got here on the side? Nothing. Maybe it's metric. All right, let's move on. Fight number 2. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 10-3 Zachary Reese versus the 9-1 Ryan Gandra. And currently, Gandra's down to minus 130 with the comeback on Reese of plus 110. I will kick this one off. So this is a fight where I waited and waited and waited because people just kept hitting Zach Reese. I get it overall because he's been in the UFC longer. He's got the better level of competition, right? Potential grappling edge, which I don't believe there is, but potentially he can get this fight to the mat and maybe have a grappling edge here. He is the longer guy of the two, right? But there's some things that clearly stuck out to me that were a big issue for Zachary Reese. One, it's the fact that I hate how he throws his kicks, man. His kicks are always naked leg kicks. That is not good versus a huge power puncher like Gandra. That's the one thing that this guy has. He throws his boxing in combination, and he has huge power. I mean, I do not like this guy. I don't think this guy's a prospect. I don't think this guy's going to do well in the UFC, but there's certain matchups that I do think he's going to do well in, and I think this is one of them. Zachary Reese throws a lot of naked kicks, man. He just throws a lot of naked kicks, and Gandra will follow. He will counter those with his hands, and he's got very big power. I mean, he is putting guys out. Medina, you could say whatever you want about Medina. He is bad. He's not a good fighter. All of that stuff is very, very true. But not too many people put him out like that. They don't put him out the way Gandra put him out and just made him like collapse. So this guy truly has a lot of power. I mean, his win over Vladimir Calvo over there is also a very good win because that guy Calvo is tough as well, man. And he over there too, he just.
Oh no, lost him. I'll give him 5 seconds to come back. If he doesn't, I'll give my breakdown.
What did I just do there? Jesus Christ. That was a weird one. Let me bring the image back. It's just kind of like kicked me out or something. So yeah, I was talking about the Calvo fight where, he landed a big shot there and just absolutely put Calvo out as well. So, it's just one of those fights where, I know if it's stretched out, rounds 2, round 3, it maybe could look sketchy for Gandra because his cardio has looked a bit sketchy in that fight where it extended, even in the one where he finished in round 2. He wasn't looking great in that fight. The problem is, I don't think Reese has wrestling success against Gandra. I think Gandra is much stronger than him in the clinch, and I just think he's going to get landed on. Reese is defensively irresponsible. And if you're defensively irresponsible against a huge hitter like this, you're probably going to get put to sleep. So I'm going to go Gandra KO1 here, or just round 1. Sorry, not KO1 because it's like 10 cents off. Just take round 1 on Bet365. It's plus 200. I think he's going to knock out Zachary Reese in round 1, in my opinion. And I think it's going to come very, very early, maybe under half a round.
Nice. You and I see this fight similarly, and I think it's definitely a possibility that Gandra can get him out early. But I'm going for some big ones on this. I think both these guys are pretty bad cardio wise, and I'm just gonna kind of go against the grain a little bit on what what everybody thinks is gonna happen on this fight. I think if this fight gets out of the first like 6-7 minutes, it starts to get greasy for both these guys. And I think Reese gasses pretty bad himself in round 3. He's just looked like he's been in survival mode in a couple of the fights. Todorovic fight, he looked like he was just trying to survive. He took some big shots standing from Pereira and was able to survive. And we saw, Pereira can hit hard, man. He's knocked some of these dudes out early. I think it's, Gandra probably hits a little bit harder than him, but I think he's not as slick with his strikes as Michel Pereira. And I think he's just kind of a chaos, he's like a chaos merchant, really. He just goes after you. And I don't think that that's going to be great for Reese early in the fight. But I feel like if Reese can get out of that first 5, 6, 7 minutes, this fight will get interesting for both sides. So I went a little bit different on this one. I went with GTD plus 470, end split plus 1600. And I like the Gandra decision at plus 1400 as well. His split decision is 33-1. I like the GTD and the Gandra decision kind of the most. If I think he's just going to do more, I think he's going to have bigger shots, and then it's going to be like a minute to moments type of fight for me. If it gets past the first like 6 minutes, I think it's probably a round 1 clear, kind of clear round 1 from damage to for Gandra. But then after that, I think the fight could get greasy as hell.
Yeah, I mean, historically, if Zach Reese kind of moves past like that little couple of minutes in round 2, his fights are usually going the distance. Like Medina.
Yeah, he's not finishing anybody.
Medina, Todorovic, and Pereira all went to the decision. He's kind of not a guy that's going to finish late either. He doesn't really have any finishes late. So, and what's crazy is, actually, Gandra has a later finish than he does. You know what I'm saying? In that one against Gambolino. So, yeah, this is kind of a low level fight at the end of the day. I don't think these guys are going to get anywhere in the UFC, either one. But I don't know, man. Zach Reese's defense is just really, really bad, and I'm banking on him, throwing his stupid naked leg kick and just eating a howitzer from Gandra. So. All right, let's move on. Next fight. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 6-1 John Garza versus the 15-0 Fareed Basharat. And currently, Basharat is a minus 650 favorite with the comeback on John Garza at plus 475. The newcomer, John Mowgli Garza. Tim, what do you got here for this one? It's a tough one.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I was trying to think of different ways. I only taped 2 fights from Garza, and only one of them had any grappling sequences. The other one wasn't really. He kind of just murdered the dude. I don't know, man. I think that the Fareed is typically, he's fought really smart in fights, and he's got sneaky takedowns. He's a very well-rounded fighter. He's kind of been a decisionator in most of his fights. And, there's been some fights with, Gutierrez and Matsumoto in his last fight where I've been like, I don't know, man, the grappling hasn't, like, the grappling against Matsumoto didn't look as good as previous fights. He was getting taken down. He wasn't having as much success grappling himself. The Gutierrez fight, for some reason, he just struck with Gutierrez for like almost the entirety of the fight. I think if he does that in this fight, I don't think that he's going to do that in this fight, but I think if he does that in this fight, I think this line is like crazy wide. If he just tries to fight him striking, strike for strike, I think he's more technical, but I just think Garza has power. He throws in combination. He's a very good boxer. I think Basharat has to kind of grapple to justify this line at all. I think he will grapple. So, I saw just massive lines, on the Garza side, like his decision line is 13-1. His split is 25-1. I don't think he finishes Basharat at all, but I think that those are massive lines. I think they're better than plus 475, obviously. But I'm going to go with sub 2, sub 3 for Basharat at plus 600 and plus 1,000. I think it's possible that he, maybe grapples early and just kind of consolidates the round, and then Garza gets a little bit more aggressive trying to get up in round 2 and round 3. It's not like a gas type situation from Garza that I'm thinking round 2, round 3. It's more like a Farid kind of being smart and kind of being safer while being on top and kind of doing what he normally does. And then in the second or third round, Garza being a little bit more aggressive and trying to get up and then making a mistake and getting his back taken or something like that. So I'll go with, like I said, I don't hate the Garza decision and split, to be honest. I think that's his win condition at pretty huge lines, but I like this. The most likely outcome for me is sub 2, sub 3 at plus 600 and plus 1,000.
You see the shirt, Tim?
Yeah. What do you got there? There you go.
It's McGregor. I had to, even though I'm not he's like McGregor. I mean, he made the sport of UFC what it is today. Let's be honest. I really like this Garza kid. I knew him from Fury. I tape a lot of Fury. I know a lot of the Fury guys. Garza is a up and coming fighter. He's 23 years old, super, super young. He faced some decent guys, I want to say, in Fury. Nothing special. Guys like Kevin Rosas, who's Raul Rosas' younger brother. Pretty good fighter. Josh Walker, a bit chinny, but he's there. And he's making, he's even the Rosas fight. I mean, Rosas went through hell and back to survive in that fight. I mean, he was hurt multiple times. Josh Walker, and if people want to watch a fight, go back and watch the Josh Walker fight. I've never seen more knockdowns in my life in a round and 50 seconds. I've never seen. I think he got dropped like 8 times in a round and 50 seconds. It's insane. Every punch that landed, he's going down. It was nuts. This guy Garza like really hits hard, man. He's got an exceptional jab. I love his jab. His jab is not an ordinary jab. It's a jab that hurts you. It doesn't feel good. He puts a lot into that jab. It's not just a normal flick it out type of jab. He steps into it. It's a big, heavy jab. And, he's got a very good, like, sneaky right hand. He times it really well. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like super straight, but he just knows how to go around your guard. He lands it very good. He lands it when you're backing away. His boxing is very, very good, man. It's just exceptional boxing from this kid. He's got really, really good boxing skills. The problem with him is he's very, very offensive oriented and like no defense really. He has good head movement, but when he's striking, like when he's going forward offensively, he just doesn't give a shit. There's no head movement. There's nothing. He's just trying to take your head off. And then the other thing is he's so nasty to the body. He is so fucking nasty with his body shots, man. He hurts a lot of guys to the body. I mean, the fight where he got knocked out against this malaria guy, he had that guy dead to rights like 3 different times in that fight. He was hurt bad and survived. And then, Garza got caught. Like I said, he was offensive minded against the ropes, had the guy backed up, and then the guy clips him with a big shot and everything, turned around after that. The issue for him in this fight against Basharat, and I'm a guy, I love backing these big dogs that nobody knows about, and they come in, they look great, right? I did that with Korea. I've done it with Ewing, right? Both of those were bets of mine that I liked a lot going into the fights, and they both came through and won. The problem in this fight for Garza is going to be the fact that Basharat has so many more weapons than him. Not only the grappling, we're talking about the kicking game. We're talking about the elusiveness, the footwork. Basharat is a really, really hard first fight for this kid. I wanted to back him so bad here, but he's going to have trouble with Basharat. I think he can hurt Basharat. Don't get me wrong. If Basharat decides to engage in some of the times that he did against Matsumoto, Garza hits way harder than Matsumoto. I'll tell you that right now. He does not want to get hit by this kid. So there is a world where I see Garza can knock out Basharat, to be honest, or even stun him. But in the other realm, I think Basharat can also hurt this kid because Basharat, he doesn't have any knockouts. I think he has 1 in his career out of 15 wins, but he hurt Gene Matsumoto last fight pretty bad. And Matsumoto is as tough as they come. And he also dropped, who was it the fight before that he fought? He dropped him.
Gutierrez,
who's also historically very durable, right? So being how Garza fights, very wild, Basharat is a good counterpuncher. He's very slick. He's got a good jab himself. I think he's going to be able to land some big shots here as well. So ultimately, I'm playing fight ends in KO here. It's 440 plus 440. I think either guy can get knocked out. I think Garza has more power, but Basharat is way more defensively responsible than a guy like John Garza. And again, to your point, the takedown stuff, I agree. He could get him down and stuff. What I've seen from Garza is actually pretty good. His get-up game looks good to me. Could he get subbed? He hasn't faced a grappler like Basharat. Don't get me wrong. Kevin Rosas is actually a good grappler. He just had a hard time getting Garza down. You can get Garza down. So, maybe Basharat gets him down, but I don't know if he's going to be able to control this kid. I think this could probably gets up. And honestly, the other thing with Basharat, outside that quick sub he got against Rodriguez, his control hasn't really looked good in a lot of these fights. Even against Gutierrez, like it wasn't looking great, So I don't know what to think of. I faded Basharat against Matsumoto. I thought Matsumoto won the fight, but they gave it to Basharat. Yeah, I just think this fight probably ends in KO, a decent amount of time. Obviously, it's 440. That's why I'm playing it. I do think the fight probably hits the scorecards, honestly, more than not. And probably Basharat wins like a 29-28. I think this kid could probably win a round. But it's a little too much for him, man. It's a little bit too much here. Basharat's just very good fight IQ. He's not going to engage in a war. He's going to be smart. He's going to mix in the grappling. And, yeah, I just think it's a little bit too much for this kid at this point. Moving on, fight number 4. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 7-2 Cesar Almeida versus the 9-1 Damian Pinas. And Pinas is minus 250 with the comeback on Almeida at plus 210. Interesting fight. Interesting fight because I kind of rate Damian Pinas. I think he's got exceptional power, like unbelievable power. He's very, very long. Look at that 79-inch reach for middleweight. It's really, really good. He's built like a truck. He obviously has weaknesses in the grappling. He get taken down, but he makes up for it with athleticism, man. He's super athletic, springy, can just pop right back up when taken down, stuff like that. Obviously, he doesn't have to worry about it here against Cesar Almeida, right? Cesar Almeida, high-level kickboxer, fought in glory, really good striker, has a ton of power in his hands. And I think this is a fight where if he's able to survive early, Tim, and able to kind of weather the storm early, I think he's going to give Pinas a lot of trouble. One, I don't think Pinas knows how to check leg kicks. Yeah, from what I've seen, there was a fight where he got clipped a couple of times in the leg. He just didn't do anything. He didn't even check him. He just put it right back. And I really don't think he knows how to check leg kicks at all. That's one. Two, he's facing a very dangerous striker and a guy that is going to throw with big power coming back. So he needs to be very fucking careful, not just thinking of offense. Now, it's one thing to knock out Wes Schultz and Vitor Costa and this Wesley Silva guy and this Johnny Gregory guy. It's another thing with Cesar Almeida. Cesar Almeida, I think his chin is kind of like going a little bit. He got dropped by Al-Razak Al-Hassan, and he was hurt in the other fight too. I forgot who it was. Maybe Kopilov or somebody. Huh? Kopilov hurt him, yeah. The thing is, though, he recovered so fucking fast against Al-Hassan. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, And Al Hassan threw everything into that big shot and dropped him. And Al Hassan, say what you want about him, he's got huge power when he lands, right? So it was kind of impressive to see him get right back up, eat more shots, right, along the Kent, and then just land that left hook that put Hassan out cold. The worry for Pinas is 24 years old, dude. He's never faced real adversity, right? He's faced low-level guys. He's facing the best striker he's ever faced in his life in Cesar Almeida, right? Guy with more UFC experience, more combat experience, more experience in general. What happens if you don't get the KO early and now you're getting your leg chopped off and there's adversity, right? I think it's what happens is Almeida knocks him out in 2 or 3. Honestly, that's how I see it. Almeida KO 2 plus 1,400. Almeida KO 3 plus 2,500. Yeah, man. I mean, Pinas is not proven. He's just, to me, he's not proven that he can he even take a big shot? That's the other thing. Can he even take a big shot? We don't even know. So it could happen even in round 1. I don't know. I do lean Pinas to get the knockout early. Honestly, that's my lean. But from a perspective of numbers, I have to bet Almeida 2-3, man. It's 14 and 25 to 1 by KO. I think he can knock out this kid. You know, this kid's going to get too aggressive, I think. And if he doesn't get the finish, he's going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, I like those. I like that breakdown. I'm kind of taking a similar approach to the if he survives early as you did, but I went a different route. I just, like you said, I was nodding my head on the calf kicks. Like, I just think that's going to be one of the biggest differences in this fight. Like, if he can slow him down and he can get him to not be able to press off and really push off on that front leg to torque his body to just get that power, I think his movement will be hindered as well as his power will be hindered. I think that's going to be a smart move from Cesar early in the fight to try to invest in the calf kick. I just think, like you said, I'm not going to echo chamber. I just agree with what you said, where it's like Cesar's been in there with some really good strikers, really powerful strikers, taken huge shots, recovered well. He made Kopylov turn into a grappler. Kopylov didn't, he hurt him as well, and he still didn't want to be striking with him for too long. So, yeah, I mean, I think that if he survives and his chin, getting older, if his chin is still there, we don't have any idea what the Pinas chin is himself. So I think, it's possible that he may have a good chin and he might be able to take some of these shots. And then we get a GTD again at plus 250, and then end split is 1,000. Cesar points is plus 750. Cesar split is 18 to 1. So I'm going to take that route again and kind of go with, I have those two fights early in this card where I just think like there's often one fight where it's like minus 500, doesn't go, and it goes, and everybody's like, I can't believe it. I had this parlay, and you just are eating shit on it. So, yeah, I'm going to do the same kind of route that I went with the fight earlier with Reese and Gandra and this, and take the same type of archetype and hope that one of them hits, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get it in a way. It could potentially extend me. We don't really know. The thing is, we don't know Pinas's cardio that well. Like, we're kind of
so many questions on him. Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on here. Fight number 5. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 12-3 Chasey Cortez versus the 9-1 Kong Wang, or Wang Kong, or Kong Kong. It's minus 110 apiece here. Tim, should I give this? I'm gonna give this one. It is yours, right? Yeah.
Yep.
It is yours. Me. So make your way over to CVS really quick.
Yeah, this is for
get
sure.
The lotion and come on back.
This is definitely anytime Tracy fights, we have the paint plastic out on the floor. We're all good to go. Yeah, this is a majorly binary fight to me. I feel like Tracy's edge on the ground is way bigger than Kong Wang's edge on the feet. And I'm not saying like I don't think that Kong Wang is a really good striker. She clearly is, and I think she's a better striker than Tracy is. But it's not like Tracy's just like doesn't have a fucking clue while striking. You know, I don't think that Kong Wang has a clue on the ground, to be honest. And Tracy, for me, like I watched back the Rose fight, and she was doing well in the fight, striking with Rose. Like she wasn't getting massacred versus Rose in that fight. It was actually Rose taking her down that kind of like a bunch in that fight, especially early, that kind of surprised Tracy, I think. And it kind of opened up a little bit more from Rose when they were striking, but it wasn't like Tracy had no success against her. And I think Rose is a high level striker, or just a high level fighter, obviously. And now you go to Kong Wang and you're just saying like, she hasn't had like a killer instinct to get finishes. The Mora fight was just horrible. I just think that if Tracy gets the similar spots that Mora got, she's going to sub her, and it's a massive line. It's plus 1,300. I already bet it this earlier this week. Plus 1,300. I think, you know, round two is, I'm going to only give round two as well as the sub, but round two is plus 3,300. Kind of similar to the earlier fight with Costa, where I'm just like, I think, or even Basharat, where it's like, established top time. Kong probably tries to stay safe early, and then as the fight goes longer and longer, if she realizes that she's losing, she's going to get more aggressive and trying to get up and make just the same type of mistakes that she did with Mora. Can't believe watching that fight back that Mora didn't get that sub, but yeah, I feel like Tracy's a better grappler than Mora, and I feel like she's going to be able to get top time and potentially a sub here at massive line. So plus 1,300 for just the plain old sub. And if you want to get greasy, sub 2 is plus 3,300.
Yeah. I mean, Kong Wang honestly has not impressed me at all in her UFC run. Like she's supposed to get these finishes against Bruna Brazil. She doesn't get it. Lipski's on one fucking leg early on in the fight. She can't finish Lipski. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know? And then last fight, she misses weight, right, against Eduardo Mora. She hurts Mora in round 1, but then she looks like shit in round 2 off her back. Mora, I have no idea how she doesn't finish the rear naked choke. I mean, like, it's sunk in deep. This girl, Kong Wang, is like turning colors. She does, I want to say she did it where it was a baseball grip. Like she didn't really do the arm in and then behind the neck. I don't know why she didn't do that. But then somehow Kong Wang got out of it. And I think it's more because Mora's an idiot more than anything. That has to be finished like 10 out of 10 times, and she doesn't finish, and Kong Wang just doesn't look good, even in the striking in some realms of that fight. Mora's landing on her, and Mora's literally a bot on the feet. She's terrible. She's not very good. She's a plotter. And Mora gassed. That's the other thing. Mora gassed in round 3. If she doesn't gas, she might even win that fight, but she gassed bad in round 3. And Mora's known to gas. That's the other thing. She's kind of a gas job. Tracy Cortez is not going to gas. She's got great gas tank. She's a very good wrestler, much better wrestler than Mora, by the way. And I am a little concerned that, Tracy's defense on the feet is not great. I will say that. I think Kong Wang could potentially hurt her on the feet and maybe even drop her. But once she gets her to the mat, Kong Wang's going to be in trouble. Like, you look at Kong Wang's opponents, and none of them are grapplers. They're all strikers outside of Eduardo Mora, who had a lot of success in the grappling, So, like, Tracy can strike. She's not like a complete, fish on the feet. Like, she's a good striker. She's not great, but she's very, very serviceable on the feet. And then she can wrestle. So, yeah, I mean, I like Tracy here. Probably she wins by decision if she wins. But, man, sub 2-3 is plus 2,000. I mean, watching Kong Wang getting subbed, or she should have got subbed against Mora, watching, the club and sub against Fernandez, this girl can definitely be had on the feet. She on the mat. She looks honestly, she looks awful off her back. She doesn't look good at all. So I'm going to take Tracy here. Tracy has gotten takedowns in every single fight outside of Jazz Davicius fight. And in that fight, she didn't even want to grapple because that's what Jasmine wants to do. But yeah, I mean, she's gotten takedowns in every single fight. I don't see why she couldn't get takedowns against Kong Wang here. So I think the sub 2-3 at plus 2,000 has a little bit of value. You know, nothing crazy, but it definitely has a little bit of value there against Wang Kong or Kong Wang. All right, let's move on, Tim. Next fight, it is in a featherweight division. It is the 18-7-1 Kai Kamaka versus the 13-0 Luke Riley. Currently, Kamaka is plus 195 with the comeback on Riley at minus 230. Excellent fight, to be honest. They're giving Luke Riley, Kai Kamaka, a second stint in the UFC, a well-rounded fighter, a guy that's super durable, has good cardio, good striker. He is the guy that I call the jack of all trades, but master of none, right? That's Kai Kamaka. He's just good at everything, but not great at anything, right? He's very durable. He's got good cardio. He's got some power, nothing special. I think he wrestled in high school or college. I don't remember. He has a wrestling background. And then you look at Luke Riley, undefeated prospect, right? 27 years old. He looked good in his last fight against Michael Aswell. 30-27 him, I think, across the board. But I'm the type of guy that I've been saying Aswell's cheeks. He's just not good. Aswell's one-dimensional. He only throws punches. Doesn't have much of a kicking game at all. His wrestling stinks. So it's like, okay, he's beat a guy that he's supposed to beat in Michael Aswell, right? You look at these other fights, Bogdan Grad, he's honestly looking like shit before he knocks him out early on in round 2. He's stuck on his back the entire round 1 against Bogdan Grad, right? And then you watch some of these other fights, like the Lou fight where he got dropped and hurt very bad. The Malta fight, he got hurt bad. The Caleb Parker fight, he got hurt. He's getting hurt in so many fucking fights, Luke Riley. It's crazy. And that's because he's kind of only looking for his offense. He's got good striking. Don't get me wrong. His boxing is really good. He's got good in and out movement. But I think Kamaka can take this guy down if he wants it. I think Kamaka can definitely compete in the striking if he wants to. To me, he's the more well-rounded fighter, Kai Kamaka. He can grapple and he can strike. He's got more experience. He's got more UFC experience, right? The line has clearly come down a lot. It was Riley minus 330 at one point. It's come down a lot, and for a good reason. I think Riley's good, but I don't think he's all that good. Honestly, he's not to me, he's not a special fighter. He's open defensively. He's open for the grappling. He's open to be hit. His chin is suspect, right? So why is he a minus 330 fighter? He's got good striking, sure. He's probably going to be the faster of the two. Again, yes. But I think this is a very, very close competitive fight. 29-28 either way, in my opinion. I'm going split decision here at plus 550. Fight to end in split. Kamaka split is 12-1 if you like his side. But I think this fight ends in split is not a bad line at plus 550 in it. And the other thing with Kamaka is when you look, all of his fights, his losses are by split. Diego Brandao split. Brandon Lognane split. Justin Gonzalez split. Danny Chavez losing by a draw, majority decision draw. TJ Brown by split. The last time that he was dominated was Jonathan Pierce, and that was via grappling. That's not going to happen here, So, yeah, I just think this fight is a lot closer than what the line says. Tim?
Yeah, we agree on this one. Luke Riley, to me, I think he's got some slick striking offensively, and other than that, he just reminds me of so many of these Cage Warrior bums that we fade over time and eventually catch. Just so many of them, Oban Elliott, Jake Hadley, like just the list is long of these guys that are just fighting Euro trash and just coming out and they're like, oh, these guys are great strikers. Da 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 da. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm not really seeing it from Cage Warriors, to be honest. And I think that Luke Riley kind of is the archetype of what they are selling, hardcore guys that really can't grapple, kind of noodles that have some slick offensive striking, and that's about it. As you said, I mean, Kai Kamaka is a generalist. The problem is that he doesn't really hit super hard. I think he's, like you said, he does everything he's a generalist. He does everything okay, not great, but he's not really super weak at any area. I don't know that he's gonna, I don't think that he'll be able to hold him down like Bogdan Grad did in the first round. I think he'll have to, if he's gonna grapple him, I think he's gonna have to kind of chain wrestle some of these together and maybe continue to go for them. But on the feet, I don't think it's like, wow, this Riley's just going to fucking school him on the feet. I just think it's more probably some bigger shots from him, probably some flashier shots, things like that. But I think Kai will take the damage better. I think Kai won't optically look as bad getting hit. So that's where I kind of agree with you that the end split Kai, when were you ever seeing a plus 550 for fucking split decision for a guy that has 6? I know that he's losing him, but it doesn't matter. You don't need him to win it if you're getting a plus 550 on that. So yeah, I'm on the same ones. I think end split is the best bet in this fight at a pretty big line, honestly. Kai split as well with 12-1 is not terrible, but I like the end split better.
Yeah, I mean, if he wins, it's probably going to be a close decision. It could. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't play. I would just play the split instead of his split. But yeah. I mean, we're going to see. It's going to be a good fight. Next fight, it is in the bantamweight division. It is the 15-7 Cody Garbrandt versus the 17-6-1 Adrian Yanez. And currently, Yanez down to minus 435 with the comeback on Garbrandt at plus 335. Tim, I think this one's yours.
I think they're giving Adrian a gift in this fight, to be honest. That dude had a golden horseshoe up his ass in his last fight. I still think he lost the fight. Draw at worst, it should have been a draw, but got kicked in the balls, faked throwing up a couple times, and got his points taken. And God bless him. But yeah, I think that this fight I think this fight could be really shitty and boring for a while until somebody engages the other. I think both these guys are strikers that are counter strikers that wait for their opponent to do something. So I think it could be a stare fest for a little bit. But end all, I just think I think eventually Yanez is going to catch him. KO2, KO3 for me. I think it's 5-1 and 8-1. I think eventually Yanez is going to catch him and be a little bit more aggressive. Cody's I don't think he's been in a fight where he's thrown more than 30 strikes in 5 fights. It's ridiculous, or landed more than 30 in 5 fights, which is kind of it's absurd. He just does nothing at this point. So I think he'll probably have his track shoes on for round 1. They'll both stare at each other for round 1. Is it possible Yanez knocks him out in round 1? Yes, but I'll go with the 2-3 KO for Yanez here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm on an island here. Honestly, I'm on an island after taping this fight because I just don't see minus 450, 435 on Adrian Yanez ever as a fighter. This guy is a one-dimensional boxer. He's got no kicking game. His calf is always there to be kicked. He's got zero grappling upside. He could be grappled himself, right? I mean, I get the fact that Cody didn't look good last fight. I do. But I think when watching back the fight, I think there's some things you need to take into account. One, he literally, if you go back and watch the fight, within 20 seconds, 30 seconds, he ate a head kick from Zhao, right? He ate a head kick, right? And it clearly buzzed him pretty good in the beginning of the fight. And he started backpedaling, and he wanted nothing to do with the striking at that point. Now, the main issue in that fight for him against Zhao Long is the fact that Zhao Long had a lot of good kicks, man. He was destroying Cody's legs. right? And Cody is all about movement. He likes to move around and he wants to like mix in wrestling, whatever, and use his speed and his footwork. He really couldn't do it much because Zhao Long was fucking destroying his legs. And Zhao Long has great, like very good takedown defense and very good get up game. If you get him down, he's going to pop right back up. He's a good wrestler. So that matchup was kind of, in a way, bad for Cody. Cody still, by the way, got him to the fence in round 1 and elbowed him and dropped him to a knee. I think that was, if you watch that round 1, that was the biggest shot of the round. And he dropped him to a knee. Arguably, you could have gave him round 1. You know, I know he didn't land a lot, but he landed the biggest shot that dropped the other guy to a knee. You know, it was a clean elbow that dropped him, right? Round 2, obviously, it was just all kicks from Zhao Long, and Garbrandt didn't do much. And round 3, obviously, there was 2 points taken, and he lost the round. I agree with you. But, again, my thing is Zhao Long is a kicking guy, is a guy that can wrestle, a guy that can defensively wrestle, all the things that Yanez can't really do. He's not a great defensive player. He obviously has leveled up a little. We saw it against Simone, right? But he's not a great wrestler. He doesn't kick at all, like 0 kicks from this guy. It's all hands, boxing. But the one other thing that I think is very important here is Cody Garbrandt's going to get his kicks off against Adrian Yanez. He's going to land the calf kick against Adrian Yanez. Has a huge weakness when it comes to these calf kicks. He's not good at them. Now, in his last fight against Simone, he was switching stances a little bit. He was kind of trying to switch to southpaw, orthodox. The difference between Cody Garbrandt and Simone is, yes, he did well in that fight, but Simone's going to sit in the pocket and trade. And that's good for a boxer in Yanez. He wants you to do that. Sit in the pocket and trade with me. I'm the better boxer than you. Garbrandt's not going to do that. He's going to be in and out. He's fast. He's still, went back and watched the tape. He's still very, very fast, man. He really is. Now, he can get hit and get discouraged and stuff like that, sure. And his volume is low. I agree. But when you go back, watch 2 fights ago against Barcelos. This is a very, very competitive fight against Barcelos. Barcelos, arguably, is in his prime because he's won like 6 in a row and beating everybody. Right? So, but Barcelos can defensively wrestle, and he's a good striker. It's just, I don't understand the 450 on Yanez. I really don't. Like, just someone give me a reason. What is it that he makes? Why is Yanez a 450 fighter, man? He was taken down by Marcos, the striker. Garbrandt's a much better wrestler than Marcos is, man. This line doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. People can say whatever they want. Maybe Garbrandt gets knocked out, but there's no way you can run the tape and say this fucking Yanez should be minus 500. It's crazy. So I'm going to just give out Cody Garbrandt money line here. It's plus 350. That it's insane to me that Yanez is this big of a price. Like, he's got no grappling upside. He's a one-dimensional fighter that just boxes. I mean, come on. Could he knock out Cody? Sure. And then he covers his price. If he doesn't knock him out, I don't see a world where he covers his price. So, yeah, I'm just going to go with the Garbrandt money line, man. I mean, Garbrandt can hurt Yanez too, by the way. If Garbrandt lands something big, he can 100% hurt Yanez. I mean, we've seen Yanez get knocked out before. Didn't Rob Font put him to sleep?
Collar tie,
he put him to sleep. Rob Font, you know, you could call it what you want. That was his last knockout in fucking 6 years. He didn't get any.
That was a legit shot, though.
Sure,
he normally does. Yeah,
but he's never one shot at anybody like that.
No, it was a Justin Gaethje shot. He collar tied him and just crunched him.
I get it, but Garbrandt still hits hard, man.
Oh, I don't. I don't disagree with that. Yeah,
if he lands clean, you don't think he can drop Yanez? I definitely think he can. So I don't know. Just the line seems crazy to me, man. Like if you told me that Yanez had like other, like he was a good kicker, you know, he could grapple. He doesn't have those in his back pocket at all. He's going to plot forward.
Super low volume.
He's going to plot forward. He's going to try to box. And I honestly think Cody Garbrandt's the faster guy of these two, even though he's older. He's much faster. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of don't get this line. I'm on an island here. Like I said, I think there's nobody in the world on Cody Garbrandt but me. But I'm willing to be on the island. I'm willing to be wrong. And we'll see. We'll see. I think the thing with Cody, too, I do want to say this is Longshot, good wrestler. Hani Barcelos, good wrestler. Davison Figueiredo, good wrestler, grappler. A lot of these guys were good wrestlers and grapplers that he's lost to. Rob Font, Kai Kara France, knocked him out early. It's like Yanez is weaker than all of these guys when it comes to the grappling. So I think he can definitely get takedowns here against Yanez, So, yeah, I mean, we're going to see. It's going to be interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. But again, I'm an island. I'm willing to be on an island. Sometimes you can't just, people are saying this, but Cody's washed. Or, sure, he's not, doesn't look good. Don't get me wrong. He doesn't look like it's his prime. But is Adrian Yanez worth minus 450? Against who? So that's my thing. Let's move on here. Next fight. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 5-2 Elisha Ellison versus 3-0 Gable Steveson. Steveson minus 2,000. Ellison plus 1,000. I don't have a play here. Honestly, there's nothing Lambo worthy. Everything is juiced to the tits. Gable's going to kill him. Like, Elisha's not. When he came into the UFC, I'm like, why are they signing this guy? Are they just giving Perisic, a layup here, or what's the deal? I didn't even understand the signing of this guy, Elisha Ellison. He came in off one of the worst promotions, this Muckleshoot, absolutely fought no one, lost to a guy that's 37 years old that choked him out. And he's I believe he's a part-time police officer. Like, this is just a mismatch, man. He's going to get destroyed early, very early, under half a round, under fucking 1 minute, maybe. He's going to get destroyed. Plain and simple. Gable Stevenson's going to destroy him. UFC knows what they're doing. They're giving him literally the bottom of the barrel heavyweight here in Elisha Ellison so he can finish him. So, there's not much to say. There's no plays. Maybe what's under a fucking minute, Tim?
400.
Okay, under a minute.
Yeah, under a minute is plus 400. Under 30 seconds by KO is plus 850. Yeah.
What's under half a round? It's not even good. Look at that. Under half a round is plus 128.
Yeah,
I think that's the lowest I've ever seen it. I mean, he's probably the biggest favorite I've ever seen. Minus 2,000. Has there been bigger? Maybe there has. Maybe that's
yeah.
I think what's his name was maybe a bigger favorite. The other wrestler. For some reason, these wrestlers are like huge favorites. But yeah, do you have anything? I mean, anything that you can give
under
out
a
here?
minute, under a 30-second KO.
I mean, I don't love them, to be honest. At those prices, I don't love them, but there's really nothing on this fight. I mean, Gable's going to kill him. Plain and simple. There's really not much of a breakdown. Let's move on. Next fight number. There it is. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 31-11 Nikita Krylov versus the 26-9 Robert Whittaker. And currently, I think that the price is right. Yeah, minus 120 on Whittaker with a comeback of plus 100 on Nikita Krylov. Tim, this one's interesting. We got Whittaker moving up to 205. What do you make of this move up? What do you make of this fight in general?
I hate this move up for him, honestly. He's not big for 185. He's tiny for 185. Now he's going to go up the biggest weight move that you can go up to fucking 20 pounds. End of his career. He looks like a ball of dough. Like, it just doesn't. He's a guy that's also like, it's very, very similar to me to the Gane versus Pereira fight, where you're just like, okay, this is massive difference in body type now, and you've got a guy that I think both guys are like borderline kind of chinny, can be hurt, and like Whittaker needs his movement to kind of avoid those situations. and now you're putting him up a weight class, which is the biggest jump at 20 pounds. And it's like, this can't help his movement and athleticism at all. This can't help it's not going to be like, oh, it's going to help his chin getting hit by these guys at this weight class when he's getting sparked by Izzy and other guys at 185. He was even small versus some guys early in his career at 170. Like, it just doesn't, I just don't think it bodes well. Krylov for me in this situation, I think he can win every which way. I think he could potentially get him down and sub him. I think he could KO him. I think he could win a decision. Krylov, just his fight IQ for me has been kind of questionable in some of his last fights. He used to be a guy that you could kind of rely on to grapple hard and get guys down and be just super aggro on the ground. And now he's striking with guys that he shouldn't be and getting bonked and running like head first into jabs and getting knocked out. Like I don't really like this fight. I haven't even written down like a prop on this one yet. This was still, I really honestly don't know what the fuck's going to go on in this fight. I really don't have a confident take. If you put a gun to my head, I think I would take Krylov by decision, kind of like clinch him up, hurt him a little bit, stay at range, get some grappling time, get some clinch time, get some control time. I think you could just hold him on the cage. Like, I just do the same thing that RDR did. I think he's bigger and more physical than RDR. I think you could get those same situations. I don't think I kind of lean decision more than submission, because the RDR fight, I think if Whittaker was able to survive on the ground with him and some control time against him and not get subbed, I don't necessarily know that Krylov gets it. So I'll take a stab. I know with zero confidence on this fight at like plus, I think 350 or something like that on Krylov decision.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those fights where, like, I listened to the interview. If you go to UFC.com and you listen to Robert Whittaker in his interview, it's like the 2:30 mark or something, and you could hear him. Maybe I misheard him, but I went back and listened to it a couple of times. It seems like it slipped, and he said, "Yeah, I brought my family here for my last fight," and then he kind of catches himself and says, "Oh, and then we're gonna have one more fight and more fights after that," or something like that. And it just doesn't make sense what he said. And it seemed like he said for my last fight. He said he brought in my family for my last fight. So, moving up to 205. I know he said in that interview too that he walks around 220. The weight cut was too much for 185. He was getting up there in age, and he only had a couple of more fights in him. So he didn't want to do the weight cuts anymore because they were affecting his training, his mind, everything, right? So I get it from that aspect. I do kind of think that this might actually be his retirement fight. It doesn't mean he's going to lose the fight. I'm not saying that. But when it is your retirement fight, like, how motivated are you? Like, how, you're probably not going to get back to the title fight. Like, what's the biggest motivation now? Maybe to win in front of his kids, right? Maybe that. But outside of that, like, there's not much motivation for Robert Whittaker. Moving up to 205, he's going to be much smaller than Krylov, right? Size-wise, I mean, Krylov's going to be much bigger than him. I will say that the Ritter fight, the Ritter was much bigger than him too, and the Ritter's probably a 205er, not an 85er, right? So, he did semi-decent that fight. What bothered me more in that fight is the Ritter hurt him with his hands in that fight. And the Ritter has, kind of shit striking. The one thing I will say is he's going to have a big speed advantage against Krylov, right? The other thing is Krylov throws these very, very bad naked leg kicks. I don't like him. He's got that, that karate, Kyokushin, whatever they call it, karate, but he's throwing these ugly fucking kicks all the time. I mean, Bukauskas came very close to landing big shots and potentially knocking him out. He did that naked leg kick against Buskov, and he got put to sleep. He jumped into a jab against Dominic Reyes, got put out. It was a counter. His chin is obviously going. Krylov's chin is not the same it used to be. His whole game, in my opinion, is going. He's just not the same. In that Bukauskas fight, it was very, very competitive. It was 1-1 going into 3. I had a bet on Krylov. He finished him. He was probably winning round 3, but I wasn't really happy with his performance. I don't think he looked great. A couple years back in his prime, Krylov would have murdered fucking Bukowskis. He would have murdered him. But he's just not the same fighter. But Whittaker's not the same fighter, honestly. He's getting hurt in a lot of these fights. You know, he got dropped by a jab against Duplessis. He's fighting a much, much bigger guy. Krylov still hits hard. He kicks hard. He's big. He's strong. I don't really know what fucking Whittaker's doing, to be honest. I don't know what he's doing. I don't really have a strong take in this fight. I don't know who's going to win this fight. But I have to kind of poke at KO here on Krylov because, you know, it's a pretty big number against a guy in Whittaker who I don't know if he's taking shots well anymore, man. I really don't. I mean, the Ritter hurt him. Like I said, you know, got dropped by a jab. Motivation's not the best in my opinion now. Like I'm taking a stab on Krylov KO because it's a bigger number than Whittaker's. I will say that Whittaker's super live to KO of this guy as well, but the number is just way less. It's plus 240 or something. This one's like way higher, a plus 375. And I think it's kind of it could equally happen where the Krylov just nukes him with, and the other thing with Krylov that's might give Whittaker problems is that he's very awkward, though. He's throwing leg kicks. He's throwing a high kick into a straight left hand, right? It's like really awkward striking. He's very, very awkward. He still kind of moves really well for a big guy, Krylov. Like he's got good like movement, but he is like very like there to be hit, man. He leaves his hands down a lot. Like his defense sucks. And Whittaker's going to be way faster than him. So
if he can cut him off and get him in the clinch, I just don't know that Robert can get off the clinch, off the cage against him.
I mean, he probably gets taken down. He could get taken down.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. Robert has a good get-up game, man. We saw it against, even against RDR, he got up. He's got a good get-up game. So I would say RDR is probably better on top than Krylov, but it's close. I think Krylov is.
He's got better jiu-jitsu, but I don't know that he's physically stronger.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we don't know. We don't know because RDR is a huge motherfucker. He is a 205er. He's cutting down 85, but that dude is definitely a 205er, you know? So anyways, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to go with KO on Krylov, but I don't really have a passionate take on this fight. I don't know. It could go both ways. Next fight, it is in the lightweight division. It is the 35-17-1 King Bobby Green. I have to still call him Bobby Green versus the 18-8 Terrence McKinney. And currently McKinney's a minus 105 versus the comeback on Bobby Green at minus 115. So this line has flipped here on Bobby Green being the favorite. Kind of understand, right? In a way, right? Terrence McKinney is I don't even want to say round one or bust. He's 3 minutes or bust, right? He's got to finish the fight early. He's going to come in hot and heavy. I will say that running through the tape that I think there is potential that, you know, McKinney's probably going to finish King Green early. You know why? Here's the main reason why. Is because when I look at King Green and every time he's faced guys that are athletic on his level of athleticism and they're explosive and they could, you know, strike and stuff, Mauricio Rufy, Jalen Turner, Makhachev, obviously, you know, Fiziev, all of these guys he lost to because they're on his level as far as athleticism and they're explosive. And Terrence McKinney is definitely on his level or above his level as far as athleticism and explosion, right? And the other thing that I hate with Bobby Green is hands down in this fight is very fucking dangerous, man. This McKinney guy is throwing punches and kicks at the same time, head kicks, flying, jumping knees, all kinds of shit. And he gets his knees up there, man, very high. He's hurting a lot of people with these head kicks. And once you're hurt, good fucking luck surviving. You know, there's not many people that survive. You know, you look at Terrence McKinney and, you know, Chris Duncan survived, but he was hurt like fucking 4 times. If King Green is in Tim Duncan's position, he's getting probably slept.
Yep.
Right. And, you watch some of these other guys and it's like he's running right fucking through them, man. He's running right through them. I mean, Sadikov was in big trouble early. Bonfim was kind of in trouble early. Like Bobby Green, I don't know if he can weather that storm early, honestly, at 39 years old. So I do think McKinney probably could kill him early, but I have to play these round props again. Round 2, Green 750. I even took a super small poke on round 3. I don't think he gets there at plus 2,000, but I would hate myself if it got to round 3 and Bobby Green, finished him. So I'm going to go 2-3 Green. My gut tells me, Tim, Terrence McKinney round 1. That's my gut. I think Terrence McKinney finishes him round 1, but the price obviously sucks. It's like pick him or, whatever. It's almost his money line. That's what's funny. His money line's minus 104. I think it's round 1. You want to hear this? This might
Plus
be the
120 or something stupid.
Okay, minus 105. Terrence McKinney, right? On the money line. Round 1, Terrence McKinney. Best price available, plus 120. It's literally his money line. So why would you play round 1? I would just play money line. Like it's stupid.
Yep. Every Terrence McKinney fight is kind of easy to cap. This dude has no glass cannon personified, honestly. Just doesn't fight for your money as soon as he sees any adversity whatsoever. I don't even think it's like, I don't think it's as much a gas issue as much as just a heart issue. Like I feel like he goes through like one of those mushroom trips, and he once he hits the bad part of the mushroom trip, it's over. He's done so. I feel like this fight for me, I'm gonna go with Green by sub, round 1, sub 2, 11-1, 27-1, and the sub alone is plus 650. Darce is 25-1, Anaconda's 50-1. Like I feel like this is very similar to the Duncan fight, where I think Bobby can scramble with him if he gets taken down, make him work enough, stay safe if he gets taken down. I'm more worried about the KO early than the sub from the McKinney side in this particular fight. And I think that he could, as soon as, if he can just kind of like either jab him or hurt him coming in once, then he'll get one of those same type of shots that he did against Chris Duncan. I think Bobby could front choke him here. I think he could get him out with a front choke, and I don't like those big. I like those big stabs in this one for me on the instead of going KO and fading the KO with Green in this situation. But it could go a bunch of different ways. But I'll take the big stabs at the big numbers for this one for me.
All right, let's move on. Next fight here. Where are we? All right. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 17-9 Brandon Royval versus the 10-1 Loner Kavanaugh. And currently, Loney is a minus 220 with the comeback on Royval at plus 185. Tim, this one's yours. Great flyweight fight here.
Yeah, this is a really good spot. I'm a little bit in question of the durability at this stage in the game for Royval. Just got bonked by Manel Cop. I feel like that's not that bad of a thing. Dude's the most dangerous, powerful striker in this weight class. The Royval versus Van fight, I watched back. He got hurt a couple times in that fight, but that fight was a lot closer going into round 3 than I remembered. And I just think that Loney can be hurt, man. I think he can be. He's been hurt in multiple fights that I've seen. The Felipe dos Santos fight was not really a good look for him. I know that he's talented. There's no doubt. He's a good fighter. He has abilities all across a bunch of different skills. He's not just like a pure striker. He can grapple. But I just feel like the chaos that Brandon will bring will potentially give him a little bit of fits, and make this fight closer than the line is, than the line states right now. So I'm on N split plus 400, Royval by decision plus 400, Royval split plus 900. I think he could make this a close fight just from volume and just chaos, and not give a clean fight to Loney, and kind of, make it closer than the line says. I think there's possibilities for Loney to show levels in this fight too, and maybe Brandon's on the last legs at 30, 33 or 34, and flyweights, you're starting to get up there. He's taken a bunch of tough fights and a bunch of damage recently, so it could look really, really bad in hindsight, these plays, but I like Royval historically, and I've backed him historically in some of these fights, and I think it could look good if he doesn't get bonked. So, but it's definitely live.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like how Royval's looked lately. I really don't. I think the guy's chin, which was one of his best attributes, is probably going. He's talked about these concussion issues. We've heard about him for years now. It's not a coincidence that all of a sudden now, Royval is getting knocked out. Van fight, he took a ton of punishment. Basically got knocked out at the end of the fight. And then he came back up against Cape and got put to sleep. Cape hits hard. Don't get me wrong. He hits probably one of the hardest hitters in the flyweight division. But Lohner's up there as a very big hitter in the flyweight division. Extremely accurate, extremely good, excellent footwork, very, very fast. I think these things are all going to give Royval problems, in a bigger cage. They're going to give Royval problems. The other thing is, I think Loney is just the better fighter everywhere. I think he's the better striker. I think he's the better wrestler. Royval has better jiu-jitsu, but that's about it. He does have, the better cardio, Royval, for sure. But I think Lohner's Kavanaugh cardio is good, man. I really, people keep going back to this Johnson fight and how he slowed down and he got caught. And yes, he got caught. But when you look at him historically, his cardio looks good to me. I don't think it's bad. He just went 5 rounds with Moreno. I do think that Moreno came in with an injury in that fight. I pointed it out. Like, he came in with a huge bruise on his calf. The first calf kick that Lohner landed just kind of made Moreno hobbling. He couldn't put weight on that lead leg. He was fucked up. He was switching stances. So not really taking a ton from that win against Moreno, honestly. I really am not, because I think Moreno came in injured. However, it's the matchup. Like, Royval, here's the thing with Royval. He's the type of guy that he will put a lot of pressure on you. He will throw a lot of volume, right? And he welcomes like grappling sequences, because I think that's where he thrives. He will scramble. He will put you in submissions. He will make you work, which in turn gets you tired. And eventually he comes on. Right now, he's starting to dog walk you. Now he's starting to walk you down, right? But when you look at Royval, right, he's 17-9, right? His losses are to the top of the division. Don't get me wrong. It's Manal Cape, it's Joshua Van, it's Pantoja, it's Moreno. The best of the best. I agree. But when you look at the other hand, his wins, right? Tatsuro Taira is mostly a grappler, and that was a grappling match, right? Where he kind of gassed Taira. It was a 5-round fight, right? This is a 3-round fight, right? I don't think he has the ability to gas out Kavanaugh in a 3-round fight, right? And on the feet, man, I'm telling you, it's a mismatch. Kavanaugh is way better than Royval. The one thing I will say that I don't like with Kavanaugh is that he drops his hands. Wait, you know how Johnson knocked him out? He does that quite a bit. His right hand drops a lot, and he gets out of there with his hands down and his chin right there to be cracked. So Royval is long. I don't think he has a lot of power, to be honest. I really don't think he has a lot of power in his hands. He still could crack Kavanaugh. I'm not saying he can't, but I think Kavanaugh can crack him, man. And I think Kavanaugh can knock him out cold. I honestly think he can knock him out cold. So I'm going Kavanaugh KO here. You can get 260 on Hard Rock. You can get 250 on Rivers. I think those are fine. You can get 240 on FanDuel, I think that's fine as well. I know a lot of people think this fight goes the distance. I think Kavanaugh knocks him out. Honestly, I have a different opinion here. I will say one thing. Isaac was saying, why don't you play ends in KO with Krylov and Whittaker? The reason why is we're giving Lambo plays. It's like minus money. What am I going to give that play? Like ends in KO is like plus 105 or minus 110. So it's not really a Lambo play. It's not really a play that I want to give out at, pick them or minus money. So yeah, I think Royval's chin is gone, man. And I think we're going to get to see it this Saturday. And honestly, I would not be surprised. I'm going to say this. Royval, in my opinion, if he gets knocked out again, he's going to be very close to retiring. Because I really think this concussion thing and this thing is a real thing with him. And he's had a lot of problems with it over the years. So I think it might make him, if he gets knocked out again, it just might make him retire and say, you know what? I don't need to take this beating. He probably has a decent amount of money. He's got decent followers. Maybe he makes money from sponsors and stuff. So he might not need this. Let's move on. Next fight. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 17-3 Mario Batista versus the 18-6 Corey Sandhagen. And currently Corey Sandhagen is minus 145 with the comeback on Mario at plus 125. I will kick this one off. The best matchup of this. This might be the absolute best matchup of the card. I went into tape thinking I'm going to bet Batista at like plus 125. And I honestly came out and said, potentially this line is right. Like, this is a very close fight. This is an extremely close fight. I slightly lean Sandhagen because of his movement and his footwork, his versatility. But man, it's such a close fight because, I think Mario probably has more power on the feet. I think Mario has more horsepower in general. I think he's the stronger of the two. But Corey is very hard to take down and hold down. Corey is the longer of the two. He's got the better kicking game. He's a little bit more fluid on the feet. Mario's more of, and Mario's a good striker. It's just that Corey he has just more movement, more, he could fight out of both stances. He's hard to hit. He's not easy to get to. He just has a little bit more to him. And I don't think it's by much. I think this fight is like, honestly, very, very close. I didn't know after taping, it's like, who's going to win? I don't even know who's going to win. That's how close I think it is. Now, the line's up to plus 125, maybe a little bit of value on Mario. I would say I would line it like Sandhagen minus 120, maybe, if there's such a thing as a small value, but I don't think there's much, man. There's really no value for me on this fight. I think this fight's going to be extremely close. Fight ends in split decision is 4-1. That's the route I'm taking. I just think these guys are mirror images of each other, kind of in a way, and both of them could grapple. Both of them could strike. Both of them are durable. Both of them have good jiu-jitsu. I don't know. Which way am I going to fucking go? So, I didn't like that Sandhagen got dropped and almost finished by Merab. Obviously, that was not a good look. And Mario hits harder than Merab. I could tell you that. So, is there potential that Mario can hurt him? Maybe. But I think this fight's probably going to go to decision and it's going to be super close. Split decision plus 440 for me, or 400 here. I don't really have a side. Tim?
I wanted to get to the same play, but I ended up just going back to the well on a pretty big number on this one. I do agree that it's probably going to go and it's going to be probably a little bit close. I think that I do think that the line could be like minus 150-ish for Sandhagen for me. I think that he's a better striker. I think the only real edge in this fight is I think the clinch is probably better for Bautista. He's more active. He's a little bit better at holding those positions than Sandhagen. And Sandhagen doesn't really do much when he's in clinch positions and being clinched by guys. I think similar to the last fight with these guys, and I know it was forever ago, but I kind of think that it's possible that it could be like a flash knockdown kind of club and sub situation, or in transition, Batista making a mistake. I think Sandhagen's grappling is like really underrated, honestly. Like, I think yes, most guys want to grapple against him, and most of the elite guys want to grapple against him, but he's also won fights against guys where he's grappled them and fucked them up on the ground and almost sub Font. Really should have, honestly. He finished Figgy on the ground as well. I think Batista's had a really good run, but I think it's been against guys that he's been able to exploit their weaknesses and fight really smart. And against grapplers, he's been able to just keep, counter grapple and outstrike them. And against strikers like Oliveira, he's taking him down and just rinsing him on the ground. So I think, credit to him for fighting smart and being able to exploit the weaknesses and actually doing that and going after them. But I think that Corey's weaknesses aren't that huge. And I think he showed better skills grappling and getting up versus Merab. I mean, obviously he got taken down 20 times, but if you get taken down 20 times, you got up 19 times. And then I think he did better grappling, counter grappling against Umar than Mario did, honestly. So I kind of think he's a little bit better everywhere except for in the clinch. So I'm going to go with the club and sub for Corey, plus 1,300. I think it's just a massive line for a guy that he's already subbed. I think that he could get him in the same situation. I don't think it's going to be armbar again, but I think it could be a process, kind of like club and sub, get him in the neck, shoot a takedown when he's concussed type of situation.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, you think, yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible, but man, Mario's leveled up so much his grappling, man. Like, watching him against Umar and the scrambles and shit, man, he's fucking good, man. Like, I was very impressed. I was very impressed in those scrambles with consistently. I mean, Umar that's the other thing I noticed between the Umar and Mario Batista fight and the Umar and Corey Sandhagen fight. Umar wanted nothing to do with the striking against Mario Batista. He just wanted to grapple him. Meanwhile, against Corey, he was striking a lot in that fight. And maybe it's because Corey, like, better overall.
I think he did better counter grappling, though. I think that's also kind of the reason why, too.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he still did really well in the striking. He wanted to absolutely do nothing with the striking against Mario. Hurt him, remember, in that fight, very, very bad. He hurt Umar. So, yeah, I mean, this is a really, really good fight. High level fight, man. I don't know which way to go. It's a rematch, obviously. I don't really. The first fight means nothing to me. This is a completely different Mario Batista. Physically, mentally, experience-wise, everything. It's a completely different guy. Moving on. Next fight, it is in the lightweight division. It is the co-main event of the night, and it is the 23-4 Paddy Pimblett versus the 17-3 Benoit Saint Denis, and currently Saint Denis is a minus 138 favorite with the comeback on Paddy Pimblett at plus 118. Tim, co-main event, kick us off.
Major banger fight here. Really excited for this fight. I think I'm more excited about this fight than any fight, even watching Conor, to be honest, just from a competitive, don't know really what's going to happen in my mind on the fight. I made comments earlier about Cage Warrior fighters. I think Paddy's probably the best one to come out of there recently. This fight for me comes down to just physicality of these guys, and I just think Benoit is just way more physical. If it's a striking fight, which it's not going to be for 15 minutes, then I think Paddy wins. I think he's a better striker. I think Paddy, that is. I think that he's the type of fighter that when he gets put on his back versus guys that are gassy or kind of like make mistakes on the ground, I think he can capitalize, but I don't think it's going to be a situation where it's going to be like super easy to reverse or sweep Benoit. He may be able to do it once. He may be able to get him on when Benoit's being over aggressive, which he has a tendency to do. But I think that this is a situation where Benoit can either clinch him up, get him on the cage, potentially get him down from that position, and then once he's down, just kind of like pass to some really good positions and just kind of rain some elbows down. I don't think Benoit's going to sub Paddy. I kind of think if somebody's going to sub the other, I kind of lean Paddy potentially getting a back take or something like that, or a front choke, and maybe subbing Benoit. So I ended up on the Benoit side, the BSD side here, but I think Benoit is going to win his first decision in this fight. I think Paddy's super, super durable, and he's tough to sub. So Benoit by points is plus 420.
Yeah, man. I went into pre-tape. I'm like, maybe I'm going to bet Paddy here. You know, Benoit slows down, this and that. And I came out from tape really liking Benoit Saint Denis in this fight. A couple of things that kind of stuck out to me a lot when I did tape on this fight. One, it's that, you know, Paddy backs himself to the cage a lot, man, against almost everybody. If you pressure him forward, he retreats, he gets himself back to the cage. And the other thing is he gets stuck there a lot, man. He got stuck there for minutes on end against Jared Gordon. He got stuck there in the entire first round, basically, against Jordan Levitt. You know, the thing with Paddy Pimblett is that people have success when they want to grapple him. Michael Chandler got him down a bunch early until he gassed. He was throwing him around, literally throwing him around. And again, he had him against the cage, took him down there, rinse and repeat takedowns. Chandler just doesn't have jiu-jitsu. He's shit jiu-jitsu. You know, he doesn't have good jiu-jitsu. The other thing is that you watch Gordon fight. Gordon's taking him down a lot. He's out physicaling him. It's a very, very bad sign for him in this fight. You know, the one thing I will say is with Benoit Saint Denis, is very important. In space, he's fucking horrific when he's shooting. It's very bad. It's very slow. It's very telegraphed. And Paddy Pimblett has good knees up the middle. So if Benoit Saint Denis is deciding to shoot in the middle of the cage with his stupid, sloppy, slow takedowns, Paddy maybe could time a knee and hurt him bad, right? But if Benoit Saint Denis throws punches and kicks and backs Pimblett up, which Pimblett will do if Saint Denis comes forward, that means he's going to get Pimblett against the cage. And that's where Saint Denis is the best, man. He's really, really good cage wrestler. He's excellent over there. Excellent body lock trips. Excellent dropping down. Super strong when he gets his hands locked. You know, Paddy's going for a ride if Benoit Saint Denis gets his hands locked. And the other thing I've seen with Paddy, which is awful, man, it's not good, is that when he's flat on his back, he has not looked good. Go back. I know it's a while back, but even against Rodrigo Vargas, Kazula Vargas, in round one, he's flat on his back. He looks bad. Vargas is passing to half guard. You know, Pimblett's kind of scooting up to the fence, but he doesn't look good against Vargas. Vargas is not a great grappler. Then you go back and you look at the Narimani fight and the Seren Bak fight. Those guys are both grapplers. He looks awful. You know, Seren Bak is getting to mount, doing all this shit against him. And those are two guys that can wrestle, and they're very similar to Saint Denis, but a lot lower level than him. And I know that's years ago, and Paddy has leveled up. Absolutely, he's leveled up. But he still has this deficiency when it comes to cage wrestling. He gets pushed back to the cage, and Chandler's throwing him all over the place. That's where Benoit Saint Denis thrives. He thrives in those spots. And he's going to punish Paddy Pimblett in those spots. You know, Justin Gaethje was punishing Pimblett against the fence, right? Benoit Saint Denis is going to wreck him against the fence. So, like, if it's not a front choke or he, you know, Saint Denis shoots inside in the middle of the cage and eats a knee or something, I don't even think Pimblett's the better striker. Like, this striking is probably equivalent. One guy's sloppy, the other guy's sloppy. They're throwing weird kicks. Saint Denis, I will tell you, is very live to head kick Paddy Pimblett because Pimblett's right hand is always low. It's never up. And Saint Denis has a nasty head kick out of the southpaw stand. So that's the other thing. Pimblett's got to look out for that. Pimblett has never really faced a southpaw like Saint Denis. None of these guys are southpaws that he's faced. All of them are orthodox fighters. So I think there's a lot of advantages to Saint Denis. And I don't think, after doing tape, I don't think cardio is an advantage for Pimblett. I really don't. Because I go back and look at the Moicano fight and the amount of fucking beating he took in round 1. And he came back and won round 2 on Moicano and was coming back out for round 3 perfectly fine. But the cuts obviously stopped the fight. Benoit Saint Denis, outside of the Poirier fight, has never really gassed like that. And that fight is key because that was the fight where he was well known to have that staph infection, bad staph. And he kind of said it after the fight. He came into the fight. He was taking antibiotics. He had bad staph, right? Honestly, I think he should destroy Paddy Pimblett in this fight if he gets it to the mat. And I know Paddy's never been finished. When was the last time he was finished? It was Cameron Else 2013 by sub. That was the last time he was finished. Benoit Saint Denis can do a number on him if he gets on top of him in full mount and stuff like that. So I'm going to go with Saint Denis here, round 2, round 3. It's against the grain because I know everybody's on Pimblett round 2, round 3. I'm the other way here. I think Saint Denis round 2, round 3, plus 600, plus 1,000. I think he's going to wear on Pimblett on top. And, dude, he's relentless. Like, he was looking awful against Hooker and shooting from a mile. But the difference is Hooker has better footwork. Hooker moves better. Hooker's a better striker than Pimblett. Hooker actually has better front chokes than Pimblett. So all those things helped him. And he still ran through him in round 2. You know, even though he looked terrible in round 1, he still ran through him in round 2. So I like Saint Denis here quite a bit, honestly. I don't, you know, Pimblett, what's his best win? Pimblett. What is his best win? Is it, who's his best win?
Jared Gordon that he lost.
Honestly, I'm being really serious. Like, who?
That's probably his best win.
King Green, maybe the bullshit choke, weird.
Gordon's had a run. Gordon's
his best win, right? Look at the wins for Saint Denis, man. Mauricio Rufy.
Yeah,
that's a great fucking win. So I don't know, man. I don't really get why this line's so close. I think it should be much wider for Saint Denis. But we'll see. You know, people love Paddy Pimblett. I think Saint Denis is going to smash him in this spot. So, yeah, 668 live viewers. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Please.
We have 62 likes.
What? No way.
That's what I just saw.
No, we got more. Stop pulling my like, Tim.
Check it out. I think it's right.
No, these fans, we got the best. We got the best people here. There's no way. Let me check.
No Lambo parlays unless we get over 150, guys. Sorry.
Oh no, we have more than that. I'm pretty certain. Let's see here. Yeah, we got more than that. Come on, Tim. Let's see. Just here. Oh my God, 69 likes.
Like I said, it's gone up from 62. I told you.
How is that possible? There's 676 viewers, and we got.
Be better, guys. Come on, chat. Right. Be better than this.
Well, I'm not going to push anybody to like. They don't want to like it. It's okay. But if you do, I appreciate it. I'm not asking for much. Like, subscribe, comment, please. My Discord links are down below. The free portion of it is down below. The paid version is down below, $25 a month. Worth every penny. We're up 60 units this year on the year. I have a lot of bets on this card. A lot of bets. Probably the most all year on this card. And usually I don't bet a lot on pay-per-view cards, but I just like some spots in this fight card. And I have a lot of units allocated for this card. So yeah, links are down below. Please join. We have a huge community, awesome community. We're fucking crushing this year. So if you guys want to join, again, links down below. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. And we got to move on, Tim. It's main event time, Tim. And it is the return of the Mac, Conor McGregor. It is the 22-6 Conor McGregor versus the 27-9 Max Holloway. And currently, Max Holloway is a minus 240 favorite with the comeback on Conor McGregor at 205. A little bit of money on Max. And this is one of those fights where, like, Conor, 5+ year layoff, coming off a bad injury, right? Years ago. Obviously, the injury's healed, right? It's done with. Forget it. They're fighting at 170. That's another different clause to this fight, right? It is a 5-round fight. Very, very bad for Conor McGregor. I don't think he can go 5 rounds after 5-year layoff. It's his birthday in another 3 days after the fight. I don't know if people knew that, but it's Conor's birthday on the 14th, so it's his birthday coming up. He looked very bad in his last 2 losses to Poirier. Honestly, here's the thing with Conor that I noticed more than anything. He's put on size. He definitely has more muscle, but it's also slowed him down. It's slowed down his striking. It's slowed down his movement. He's not the fluid, fast Conor McGregor anymore, right? And then now you add 5 years to that slower Conor McGregor and aged Conor McGregor. That just means he's going to be slower. His timing is going to be worse, right? He's going to be carrying more weight in the ring at 170 now. Like, ring rust is a real thing. He hasn't looked good, man. He has not looked good even against Poirier, right? He's facing a guy, Max Holloway, that was fighting at 45 not long ago. But when you see him weigh in at 170, he looks good. He looks fine at 170. He probably is the same size or bigger than McGregor. I didn't watch the face-offs, but I'm assuming he's at least the same size as McGregor, right? The thing with Holloway is he's been active. He's been fighting the best of the best, right? And I agree that his chin is kind of down. It's on a decline, right? But getting put out by Topuria, okay. Topuria can put anybody out if he lands, right? Topuria at this point in his career is probably a bigger hitter than McGregor is at this point in his career, right? Topuria is a much more dynamic striker than McGregor is, right? He's faster, better combos, better boxing at this point, right? So we get to this thing and we say, well, go back and watch the first fight. McGregor was able to land on him and then grapple him. Well, he's not going to grapple him in this fight, man. I could tell you that right now. If he does, he's going to gas even quicker. He's going to gas even quicker because Holloway's going to get up. And the other thing I want to add is when these guys fought, I believe Holloway was 21 years old, Tim. He's 21 years old, coming off a loss to, who was it that he lost to? Mendez? No, not Chad Mendez. Who did he lose to? Dennis Bermudez. He lost to Dennis Bermudez. He won a split against Leonard Garcia, who is 18-13-1, right? So clearly it wasn't prime Max Holloway, right? It could have been prime Conor McGregor. We don't know because he was kind of young too. He's 24. But it was definitely not prime Max Holloway. That was the worst version probably of Max Holloway. Now, it's probably not the best version of Max Holloway, but it's not far removed from the best version of Max Holloway, right? Conor McGregor is far removed from his best version, right? So you put all these things into perspective and, Conor's maybe live early. I think Holloway's potentially live early as well. Holloway did hurt Dustin Poirier a couple of times early on in that fight, right? Close to finishing him.
He broke his nose.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's Holloway 2, 3, 4. I just feel like this fight not going to get to round 5. Maybe not even round 4. It's plus 650, plus 700. The lines suck, by the way. And plus 850. They're terrible lines. But I just feel like they're going to hit. One of those rounds is hitting. And I know McGregor is going to gas in this fight. If he does not finish early, which I don't think he will absolutely gas in this fight. He had his mouth open in round 2 against fucking against Poirier. He had his mouth was wide open in round 2 in the first fight against Poirier. He was wide open. He was dead tired. It looked like he was tiring already. Right? So this guy is, I don't think he's going to have much success here. I think honestly, if you want something, and I think it's live, it's Holloway by sub. I honestly think it's live. It is live here. It's like what?
Huge.
16-1? What is it?
Plus 1,300 or plus 1,400 just sub alone. Sub 2 plus 4,500. Sub 3 5,000.
Yeah.
Sub 4.
Why not? Why not hit those sub props, man? Sub 2, 3, 4.
That's what I have written down.
I think he's very, very live to sub him. It most likely probably KO, like just beating him down, calf kicking, doing all that stuff. Probably not calf kicking, but just kicking his body, kicking him in general, and then breaking him down, just breaking him down. Like, I know people are going to still bet McGregor because it's McGregor, but like, it's kind of to me, it's a delusional bet. Like, what do you expect from a guy 5-year layoff fighting one of the best guys in the UFC? What's his path? Knock him out early? A guy that's never been knocked out early?
4-minute knockout.
He's never been knocked out early. Even Topuria landed big early. It wasn't until later he knocked him out.
And Conor hasn't been hurting anybody, and even in his last few fights, he's not hurting. He never hurt really Poirier. He's not hurting any of these guys.
Yeah, Holloway's sub 2 is 45 to
4,500, 5,000, and 6,500 for 2, 3, 4.
Play that. Yeah, there's no way I'm not playing these. These are massive lines, and I'm just gonna play them right now because I do think they're super, super live.
Conor could try to grapple. I think Conor could try to grapple him after he starts getting his ass beat.
Yeah, shooting the ugly takedown.
100%.
Why get knocked out? Why not just get subbed? Right?
Yep, a lot easier.
All right, Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, that's my breakdown. Basically, I did the same thing. I said 2, 3, 4, and I did 2, 3, 4 sub. Just it doesn't make any sense to me. If you're on McGregor, it's round 1 KO. Maybe hedge on round 2 KO, but I just don't see him. I just don't see him winning in round 3 or beyond. I don't see him winning a decision. I literally put his decision equity at like lower than 5%. So yeah, the only thing that I think is possible is about the round 5 situation is if Max just tries to string him along as long as possible, but I don't know that he will.
I don't even see that. Like, Max is not, why would he string him along? I don't think so. I think he's just going to be exhausted.
He's in the entertainment mode. Like he did. I mean, Korean Zombie, he strung him along. Calvin Cater, he kept him alive as well. But I don't think McGregor can survive.
Well, I don't want to say necessarily he won't string him along. It's just, can McGregor even last? Bro, 5-year layoff. This guy, can he last 5 rounds?
He's gonna be wanting cocaine at like round 2.5. He's gonna be begging his corner.
Yeah, he's gonna be begging his corner
to give him a quick sniff.
Something to sniff at, and maybe he'll have some more energy going into round 3 or something. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't really see it. I don't really see it.
Take the box of shit. They'll put the box on Conor in the corner, and next thing you know, he'll come out and be like, what's going on?
It's just honestly, like, it's if you bet Conor, it's kind of like a fan based bet. Like, there's no way you can possibly break this fight down and think, Conor is a good bet at these prices. Like, maybe if he was huge plus money.
Yeah, when you take the percentages at -230 to -450, and you look at actually what the percentage difference is between those lines, like -450 is more accurate, -500 is more accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I don't really get these prices, but yeah, I think that's it, Tim. All 14 fights for UFC 329. It is Lambo Parlay time. 700 live viewers. How many likes do we have, Tim? Is it up? Let's see here. Whoa, we're at 107, Tim. We're at 107. We have eclipsed the 100 mark. And so we got to give our Lambo parlays. I'm going to do a new thing today, but I'm going to give my first one out first. My first one is Basharat by decision, Loner KO, Holloway rounds 2, 3, 4. So if you just do like, instead of doing 2-3-4, you could do 2-3-4 KO and then 2-3-4 sub on FanDuel. 2-3-4 KO is like 22-1, but 2-3-4 sub is 163-1. So I think that's my first one. You can give yours out, and then I'll explain the second one, Tim.
Yeah, I have BSD by decision and Costa by sub 26-1, and then I did another one that's kind of major, like long shot. I did
What was
Tracy
your first
sub.
one? What's the first one?
BSD by decision, Costa sub,
Okay.
and then Tracy by sub, Green by sub is 104-1.
Green sub. Wow. That's a good one. All right. So let's do something. Let's do one, right? I want to put like the chat with this one, and let's go over and do a Lambo parlay with chat, Tim. Let's hear chat. What are their favorite Lambo plays here from the ones we gave? Which ones are their favorite? I want to look at chat and let's see which one is their favorite, because there's a couple I like. I like the Costa 2-3. I will say I like that a little bit. Like I think he can finish in 2-3.
Costa 2-3, BSD 2-3 is not bad. I was thinking about that.
That's the other one. That's the other one I looked at. Costa 2-3, BSD 2-3. I had it written down, but I didn't give it out. I had it written down. I didn't play it actually myself, but that's the other one I written down. But what is chat thing? What's their? We'll put one together right now on stream and see what everybody likes here. So Rain says Max KO. Max KO. Tracy sub or Almeida 2-3 KO. Basharat sub. Basharat sub is not bad. I mean, he could potentially get the sub. Tracy's sub is such a long shot. I hate to put it in a Lambo parlay. I don't know if that happens. It could, obviously, but Almeida 2-3 KO. That's not a bad one, actually. How about this? How about the ones I mentioned that I thought are going to happen, but I didn't give them out? Like Pinas KO1, right? Pinas KO1 with Gandra KO1, right? That's 10-1, right? If we do Pinas KO1, Gandra KO1 with, what else should we put with that one? Whittaker decision. That's not bad. I mean, I think it's going to
BSD 2-3, Holloway 2-3-4 is not bad either.
Yeah, but that's a lot of bets. Oh, McKinney KO1. I like that. Who said that? Danny Link. That one I like right there. Tim. Pinas KO1, Gandra KO1, McKinney KO1, 38-1, actually. I actually think all three of them are very, very live for KO1. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think that's a good one. Gandra KO1, McKinney KO1, and Pinas KO1. 38-1. Let's go with that. I just put it in. It's 37-1. I put $100 on it to win 37.85. Wait, what was your second? Oh, green sub, Tracy sub. Yep. All right. That was a good one from Danny Link. I like it. McKinney KO1. That's the KO1 parlay, Tim. The Lambo KO1 parlay for 37-1. All right. Guys, hit the like, subscribe, comment, get in the Discord, do all that good stuff. Thank you for all your support. Next week, I will have a full card breakdown myself, and then the Lambo parlay, obviously, with me and Tim. If you guys use Rumble, go over to Rumble. It's Narcocop MMA there. Have a Rumble channel. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very, very much for joining. 702 live viewers. Thank you very much. It's a great card tomorrow. We're going to have live betting. Tomorrow, I think, is a great live betting card, honestly. It's an excellent live betting card from what I could see. You know, we don't know how it's going to turn out, but it seems like a very good live betting card. So We're going to be in live chat tomorrow on Discord. Thank you, everybody, again. Good luck. And let's cash those tickets for UFC 329.